Hello, I was trying to wait for a really nice and beautiful way to set up this video that I'm gonna try to do today, but I was trying to step in that, and my foot got covered in mud, water, whatever you call it. So, let's start it here. So step number 1, just centering yourself, or a way that I like to go about doing it. So these things in your feet that we all keep on all the time, take them off. We evolved without shoes. We spend so much time in them. Our feet haven't evolved to be in them. Just take them off every once in a while. I'm not saying you have to live your entire life barefoot and destroy all social norms of shoes and stuff like that, because they're practical sometimes. But just being able to go out and just feel the ground and the earth beneath your feet, it does so much for you. Just go out and do it. It's not that hard, and it's super cheap to do. Go out and lose yourself in nature. I mean, you don't have to go trailblazer or anything like that. Just go out on like a local trail hike, or even just hang out with trees that are in your neighborhood. Just something like that. Something that'll help you get back in touch with your inner child that so much of us seem so disconnected from. We feel this need to outgrow it, and like there's no more time for games or anything like that anymore, when you don't realize that life itself is just about going out and living it. That's all you do as children. Is just, you're constantly in the moment. You're not worried about what's going to happen next, if I'm gonna get this raise, if I'm gonna get this new salary, if I'm going to be able to go to this place A, if this person likes me. As a kid, for the most part, you're just there and just chilling out and just having the time of your life. There's no need to lose that. There's no need to disconnect yourself from that. You don't have to grow out of it. Just get back in touch with it. Reach out. That kid, it's still inside you. It's still there. You just have to go out and find it. Number 3, listen to your body. When you're hungry, eat. When you're tired, sleep. If you're thirsty, drink. Drink water, by the way. Don't drink stupid things that are not good for you. But just listen to what your body has to say. It's one of the most important teachings I feel like I've learned in the past year or so. Just listen to what your body has to say. It's not very complicated, although we far too often just keep pushing it away, like, no, I don't need to get up and go to the bathroom. I don't need to eat. I don't need to drink water. I don't need to go to bed. It's only like 10 p.m. Why would I need to go to bed? But we get so wrapped up in this constant seeking of entertainment, because I know I personally spend hours upon hours a day on YouTube, and getting out and doing things like this is what I try to do instead. But I'll be up at 11 p.m. to 3 a.m. just on the same exact channels watching whatever comes across due to recommended, and I just spend so much time that way, and I don't realize that I'm exhausted, and I keep putting myself in this circle of constantly being tired. And then I wake up and wonder, why am I so tired all the time? It's because I'm not listening to my body, stupid. Just exist with it, not against it. Now, meditation doesn't have to be sitting in a zazen position following Buddhistic teachings over millennia out in some naturey forest area. All meditation is, it doesn't even have to be sitting, for one. That's a huge misunderstanding. Meditation is just finding a way to inhabit that spot, that place in between your thoughts. Just being able to realize that the thoughts that are constantly going through your mind all the time, they don't define who you are. They don't make you up. You are not your thoughts. All you are, you're just sitting there watching it all flow by. The metaphor that I like to use for it is, imagine you're sitting down, looking up at the sky, and you see all these clouds floating on by. The clouds don't make up the sky. The sky itself, it's just the atmosphere and hydrogen and all that stuff. But the clouds are just things passing by. They don't make the sky. Imagine your thoughts are the clouds. They're just here and then they're gone. Just let it flow. Let it all flow. That's about it for meditation. That's the best way I can describe it for where I'm standing right now. To understand my view of meditation, you first have to realize that this reality that you experience just everywhere is just a mirrored reflection of your own inner world. And in order to change the way that you feel and how you view the world as a whole, you have to change your inner world itself, because your inner worlds are just a reflection. No, the outer worlds are just a reflection of the inner worlds that reside within you. That's where subjectivity itself derives from when dealing with our perceptions of reality. That's why I try to meditate when I can, and I'm doing it a lot more. I'm giving a lot more time to something that's actually beneficial to my life instead of meaningless talking, meaningless distractions. Now, something branching off of meditation that has to do with meditation is, I think this is going to be tip number 5. Don't quote me on that, because these things are all over the place right now. But tip number 5, hopefully, is just be okay with being alone in the silence. That we in Western culture, something that I like to reference a lot, we surround ourselves with noise and just this meaningless sounds all the time. If you take a step back and truly realize how often you're distracting yourself from just being alone with yourself, it's absurd. I know personally from my own experience, that's what I do a lot of. And this time out in North Carolina has definitely taught me to be okay with being alone in it. Be okay with the silence. When I do drive, I tend to drive without the radio. That way I don't distract myself with this meaningless noise from someone else going on about something that I honestly doesn't benefit me whatsoever. Being alone in the silence is a huge step for a lot of people, including myself. We're just so conditioned to just always avoid it all the time. Just silence is bad. Like, darkness and silence are some of the most intrinsically scary things that are built into not only like our culture today, but most of humanity. If we go back, like if we're thinking about primal times, darkness was associated with a loss of control completely. You don't know what's in the darkness. That's the mysterious part about it. It just, death could be around any corner. And silence too. Silence, it's easy to hide in. But being able to embrace that is a huge step forward to just feeling centered, just feeling rooted, just there, just existence itself. You feel like you exist once you're able to not only deal with the silence, but embrace it as a whole. Just make your own food, man. Like, as you see there, it's not very difficult if you just want to make a smoothie or something. Even just like 3 out of 4 days of the week, at least start off doing something. That way you're just not eating all this processed junk that gets pushed onto us. And it's not expensive. Like, those smoothies and stuff, yeah, they might be a little pricey for fruit and stuff like that. But even just something as simple as rice and beans, I mean, it doesn't get much cheaper than that, and it's super easy to do too. It's not as time-consuming as we're led to believe. Plus, it's super relaxing to be able to just not only know what you're putting in your body, but be part of the process. It's actually making what's fueling your body as a whole. And you feel so much better when you know good things are going into your body, and they're actually good things. Your body just functions better. You're able to just feel happier, exist, just overall, objectively, have a better life. Just fuel yourself with the right stuff. Whew. And finally, tip number 7. Breathe. Just whether you believe in prana, ether, oxygen, some crazy Scientology stuff that I've never heard of before, there's no denying that breathing keeps you alive. So just take it in and let it out. Let your cells perform cellular respiration and keep on living. Just 3 times the charm. Your body needs air. You breathe in, you breathe out. It's all one. We tend to separate things, but breathing is just all one. It's the most basic form of existence that we have. And just keep breathing. It's the most ancient form of centeredness. Just finding that root again that we disconnect ourselves so much from. Just breathe in and grab it.